Well, the one in the hit column for the New York Mets probably shouldn't be there. I'm sure Dustin Hermanson is thinking that.
Well, and we mentioned it a few moments ago how he probably doesn't feel the pressure that a pitcher who had a bona fide no-hitter would feel in a situation like this. We'll see if he continues throwing to the corners and being aggressive toward the Met hitters, or will he change here in the bottom of the ninth?
Jason Harkey bats for Acevedo, and that's a foul ball. 0-1. You know, before Harkey came up, we showed you Brad Fulmer sitting by himself in the Expos dugout. He was actually lifted from the ball game by Felipe Alou. And Joe Orsulak, also not known for his defense, inserted in left field. But what do you think's going through his mind now?
Oh, I'm sure it bothers him. A young player, he doesn't want to be involved in a controversial call like that. And why, did Felipe Alou decide to take him out of the game?
Yeah.
Is he telling the official score something?
0-1 to Harkey.
And again, we've talked about Bill Shannon. We have all the respect in the world for Mr. Shannon.
Well, we just disagree. That's all.
Right.
And I think most of the people here do as well, because there was kind of a faint undercurrent of boos that went up when the hit was posted on the scoreboard.
Here at Shea.
Still 0-2 to Harkey, leading off the ninth.
You won't hear that very often in a ballpark where the Mets were going to benefit from the call. There were some boos.
Hey, when Jim Bunning pitched his perfect game here on Father's Day in 1964, that too was a 6-0 game with the Phillies in front, and just about everybody here at Shea was rooting for Bunning.
But again,
once it got into the 8th and 9th innings,
if the call is reversed, this one hit on that scoreboard might help this right-hander.
1-2 to Harkey, but you know what? If Bill Shannon wanted to reverse it, he couldn't do it now. He might have been able to do it in the 6th or 7th inning. You can't do it now.
You know what you got to do? You got to do what's fair.
That's popped foul. So it's still 1-2.
Not what's fair for Dustin Hermanson, but what's fair. And was the call the correct call?
Well, he thinks it was, and as far as the evolution of this story, that's all that matters. I mean, he's maintaining the courage of his convictions. Not only explaining it to us on the air, but to all of the writers in the press box who surrounded him at the end of the 8th inning. So it'll be a 1-2 to Jason Harkey. And now the count evens. And Hermanson, over that prescribed pitch count, has been in command all the way after walking 2 in the first inning. Altogether, he's walked 5. He struck out 7. He's thrown 115 pitches. In the air and very playable. McGuire's got it. 1 out in the 9th.
And keep in mind right now, Butch Husky's hitting streak is in jeopardy.
Butch Husky.
Bill Shannon just became the president of the Butch Husky fan club. Bill Shannon, the official scorer, now wearing a Mets jersey with number 42 on it. Mets cap. And the first pitch to Husky. In there for a strike, a breaking ball. Butch with an 0 for 3, the average down to 287. One and one. Alfonso had a 20-game hitting streak earlier in the year. It was broken on July the 11th at Atlanta. And here on September the 13th, Huskies' 19-game streak on the line. And now it's 1-2 to Butch.
Butch not taking that real aggressive, comfortable swing he's been taking the past 19 games.
So Brad Fulmer with some of the weight of Dustin Hermanson's mind on his mind right now.
It's not going to help him putting that smokeless tobacco in his mouth.
The 1-2 to Husky. Line drive, base hit. Now the Mets have a clean hit. Husky has a 20-game hitting streak, and Bill Shannon can breathe a little easier, and so can Brad Fulmer. The first clean hit by the Mets He'll probably be shaking his head any minute, the man in the middle. And his.
Well, Butch Husky keeps the hitting streak alive.
When have you seen that? Their pitcher just gave up a base hit, and they're congratulating one of their teammates.
Here's Bill Shannon right after the hit. Whoops. Bill's off the hook.
That was Bob Rosen on the left and Marty Noble on the right. Patting Shannon on the back, Justice Fulmer. Look, he hadn't moved from that spot in the dugout for 4 innings.
And he didn't smile since he's been out of the ball game.
Now we know what was going through his mind.
Sure.
Help. 0-1 to Baerga. This is how Fulmer looked when the hit wound up in center field. Off the hook.
He's being congratulated.
Now, does that tell you that they thought it was an error? Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
He thought it was an error.
There'd have been a lot of huffing and puffing after this ball game if that was the only hit in the game.
Man, if they congratulated him anymore, they have to extend his contract. In the hole, there's another base hit. Husky will stop at second. And the Mets have 2 on with 1 out. Shane Bennett's been throwing in the Montreal bullpen. And I think Bobby Cuellar just wants to find out if he's ready. That might have been the last pitch that Dustin Hermanson will have thrown today.
Well, the Expos are very high. We talked about it during the ball game, very high on Hermanson. They've got good, 3 good pitchers in this ball club, starting pitchers. Carlos Perez, Pedro Martinez, and Dustin Hermanson. What type of reaction does Hermanson give on the Husky base hit? No big deal. He said, I already gave up a hit. A little bit upset. That means there was going to be an argument after the game.
Well, he had a no-hitter in his mind until Husky ruined it. Now the Mets with 3 hits, and Hermanson's going to hang in. Brian McRae, nothing for 3.
So who are your sources?
What happened, Roger Brulotte? I'm giving my source up. Roger Brulotte, the Montreal Expo. No, it wasn't Roger. I'm sorry. It was Jacques Doucette. Same
he's
booth.
giving up all kinds of sources.
Well, no, you're right. Roger was making menacing gestures at Shannon, but it was Jacques Doucette who told me 90-95 pitches. Fouled off. You guys want to take a shot in the Montreal Expo? I'm going to give them up graphically. I'm going to point to them. Now, normally we as reporters don't give up our sources, but in the Montreal Expo's broadcast booth,
you just gave up a source. That's a bad move.
Yeah, that's the booth where usually Ed Coleman is doing Mets Extra. And by the way, I hope Eddie's all right. I understand Eddie was taken to the hospital today with some minor chest pains. Hope Eddie's all right. Now, that's the English language radio booth. That's Elliot Price. It's a little more to the first base side.
I like it. Howie Rose, a professional journalist, is selling out a source. Not only that, they're going to put a graphic on it.
On the right, that's Jacques Doucette, okay? Now, Jacques told me, in English, by the way, and he speaks wonderful English, 90-95 pitches, and even if he has a no-hitter, Felipe's taking him out of the game. And that was before the game, before a no-hitter ever became a point of contention. Well hit, right center field, White on the run. So 2 away, Husky goes to third. Runners at the corners, and the Mets down to their last out. Todd Pratt will be hit for by Roberto Petagine.
Howie, I hope none of your other sources are watching this ball game.
Well, they better know to be right. That's all. If they're wrong, I'm giving them up.
That foxhole thing again, huh?
Well, all I want is accuracy.
Yeah, right. Or they're dead.
That's it.
You don't want information.
I'll tell you what. If the guys implicated in the Watergate scandal were exonerated, we'd know who Deep Throat was by now, I guarantee you. Somebody would give up somebody. So here's Petagine hitting for Pratt. 6-0 Expos, 2 out in the ninth. And if you're just joining us, the big story, Dustin Hermanson might have had a no-hitter going to the ninth. Official score, Bill Shannon ruling that a looping fly ball wasn't handled properly by Brad Fulmer. Still should have gone as a base hit. It did to Carlos Mendoza, leading off the 6th inning.
See how animated Brad got?
1 ball, 1 strike. The no-hitter, or at least the 1-hitter, stayed until the 9th inning, when with 1 out, Butch Husky singled cleanly, and so did Carlos Baerga behind him.
Brad's a lot more loquacious since Butch Husky got that base hit.
Yeah, he didn't move on that bench. He was taken out after the 6th inning, so it's my error. It was 3 innings, not 4, that he was virtually catatonic. Baerga takes off. We'll get into second base uncontested, and I'm sure Bill Shannon won't credit any stolen bases. Well, he seems to be in a charitable enough mood.
Don't be getting on my buddy.
Defensive indifference, to be sure. 1-2 on Petagine with 2 outs in the 9th. In the air, here comes White, and he's got to play it on a hop. 2 runs will score. So the shutout's gone as well. Husky and Baerga cross the plate on Petagine's 2-run single. It's 6-2 Montreal, and Felipe Alou wanted to see Hermanson get the shutout. Now that that's over with, so is Hermanson's workday.
Felipe Alou now going to the bullpen. That's like the old days when they used to signal, give me the tall guy. I'm surprised they didn't say on the phone who they wanted. So Felipe Alou going out to make a pitching change, and he wants the tall guy.
Well, he wasn't going to have his no-hitter, Dustin Hermanson, once Husky signaled in the 9th inning. Not that he had one anyway, but with the questionable scoring, he had to be thinking he deserved one. He certainly had to feel he deserved a shutout. He gets neither, but the respect of the fans, as this call to the bullpen is sponsored by Omnipoint. So now Dustin Hermanson and Brad Fulmer can talk things over, renew their friendship. The pressures are off.
Yeah, right after the ball game, if there was only 1 hit, Dustin had been talking to somebody and said, you know, that Brad cannot play left field. I'm not talking to him for the next 2 months.
Orsolek would be his personal left fielder the rest of the season.
Now it's okay. Brad, you're all right. You know what? That was a tough play earlier in the game.
Luis Lopez faces Shane Bennett and shoots one through the hole. Petagine stops at second. Now the Mets have 2 on with 2 out, and they've had 4 clean hits here in the 9th inning. Shane Bennett, considering where he comes from, really should be a side armor, like former Met Terry Leach, because Bennett is from Adelaide, South Australia, down under. Felipe Alou's gone back to the mound.
He's going to the bullpen again.
Well, consider this. The tying run is now on deck. So it is a save situation. Will it be you get Urbina? He's their save man, their closer. This is a padded save. Well, Dustin Hermanson needn't worry about the 1-hitter or the shutout or whether it should have been a no-hitter. When Ugi Urbina's out there, the game is somewhat in jeopardy, and this is what's wrong with that save rule, by the way. He could throw 1 pitch and get a save here. Because the tying run is on deck, Urbina now qualifies for a save, and he'll get one if he can retire Matt Franco.
Well, it's become a hotly contested award for relief pitchers at the end of the year.
But, I mean, you do that enough. You faced one better enough.
That's right.
Over a season and then a career. I mean, all of a sudden now, I mean, you're Hall of Fame possibility. That's wrong.
How about on the other side of the coin, you got a Mark Wohlers in Atlanta now. If Glavine or Maddox or Smoltz, they're throwing a good game and they're through 8 innings, they're not coming up. They tell Bobby Cox, I'm pitching. Yeah. So Wohlers can't pick up that easy save.
Well, here's Matt Franco now. Franco grounded out his first time up, and he's way out in front of Urbina.
That was a good changeup right there. First pitch in a tight spot. He gets a changeup. You see the Marlins on top of the Giants, 8-1 final score.
And remember, the Mets starting play today, 5.5 behind Florida, 4 behind the Dodgers for the wild card. So the Mets in danger of falling another game behind the Marlins. Now they're a strike away from it. 0-2 to Franco.
Just saw what that changeup can do. The changeup got Franco out in front. Now it puts it in the back of his mind that Urbina throws a fastball and he's late on it.
Urbina throws hard too.
Well, if you throw, you can be a two-pitch pitcher if you have an overpowering fastball and a straight changeup.
Urbina looking for save number 27. It's 0-2. And Franco lays off.
A nasty sinker right there.
Petagine is the runner at second. Somewhat fitting that he would get a base hit today when he was given one of those Doubleday awards. He was the International League's most valuable player for Norfolk.
And it's important for Petagine on the major league level to produce, even though he's not going to see a whole lot of action, because you want management up here and also Bobby Valentine, the coaches, to see that production.
Up the middle and into center field. Petagine will be held at third, and the tying run will come to the plate.
How about that?
The base is loaded, and Carl Everett will be the batter.
And the first two pitches, a mismatch on Matt Franco, but once again, Franco coming through. That's a good pitch he hit right up the middle, and the bases are loaded with Mets for Carl Everett.
So the Mets, who had only one tainted hit through 8, have put together 5 here in the 9th inning. Petagine is at third. Lopez at second. Matt Franco at first.
This has been a good ball game.
Everett has 12 homers and 51 RBIs. Deep to right field. If it's fair, it's tied, but it's going foul.
How about that? Just a little bit out in front. And jerked it foul. Everett put a good swing on this ball. Maybe a little bit over anxious, and he was going for what he wanted to get right there, the grand slam.
This is why kids in every ballpark say, "Dad, we can't leave yet."
That's right. Look at Urbina. He says that's fine. It's no big deal.
Ooh, look at those eyes. Gave it the Marty Feldman look. No balls, 1 strike. No goaltending by Fletcher.
Yeah, look at his sleeve right now, Urbina. It looks like he's got those cigarettes rolled up on top.
The Lords of Flatbush look. 2 balls, 1 strike.
He's going to come in with that good. Look, he's trying to calm himself down. Felipe Alou looking on. And Alou, I'm sure, thinking about, is he going to throw him that fastball again? Everett a little bit out in front on that first fastball. And he was going for the pump.
Well, he was looking towards the right field bullpen with that swing, but now the Mets are down to their last strike again.
Urbina beat him with the fastball right there. He reared back. He calmed himself down, and then he comes back with that heater in Everett's wheelhouse and beat him.
The Mets were down 6-0 going to the 9th. They've scored 2 runs. They have the bases loaded. Everett the tying run at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Well, this means an automatic start now. The whole carousel will be in motion, and Hermanson can hardly bear to look anymore.
He said, I've been worrying about a questionable base hit. Now I'm worried about the game.
Petagine, Lopez, and Franco get an automatic start with 2 outs and a full count.
Should be a fastball. If Urbina throws him anything but a fastball and throws it over the plate, he's got him.
The on-deck hitter is Edgardo Alfonso, and they're standing at Shea. To right field. Back to the wall, McGuire. We've got a brand new shiny one.
about this? Bases loaded. Urbina challenges Everett, and he does it. Hits it over the wall, a grand slam, and this ball game's tied up at 6. And look at Hermanson's face. Look at those eyes.
His 9th win just disappeared over the right field wall. And it's 0-1 to Alfonso.
How about that at bat? Everett starts it off and pulls the ball foul, and then comes back and hits one fair with a 3-2 count, and he got a fastball.
Bernard Gilkey is on deck to hit not for Juan Acevedo, but for Jason Hartke, who started this inning off by flying to right field. 6 runs in on 6 hits. That's a strike, 1 and 2.
Well, we've talked about this ball club all year, and the word associated with this club has been resilient. And once again, they bounce back.
Pop foul by Alfonso. It'll reach the seats. Still 1 and 2.
Well,
so Carl Everett.
He's been through a lot. Family problems and struggling on and off the field, but in this game here, Everett hits a grand slam to tie the ball game up.
Everett, by the way, is allowed supervised visits now, along with his wife, 6 hours each day on the weekends. I'm not sure whether or not the Everett children are at the ballpark today, or whether that supervised visit could take place either later tonight or might have taken place earlier in the day. But I'm sure they're on the mind of Carl Everett as well.
It must be a terrible time for the whole family.
2 and 2 to Alfonso.
And this hasn't been just a week or two, I mean, it's been a long time, and just must be so much anxiety involved in his personal life right now.
And on a less significant scale, Dustin Hermanson lamenting the fact that he will not pick up a win. Alfonso out on strikes, but who'd have believed it about a half hour ago? We're going to the 10th.
Listen.
6 runs on 6 hits, including Everett's last-second salami. To the 10th we go.